Have you ever picked up a package of cocoa powder and another labeled cacao powder, then wondered why they seem almost identical? Both come from chocolate, both look like dark brown powder, yet one often costs more and is advertised as being healthier or less processed. So are cocoa and cacao actually different, or are they simply two names for the same thing? Today, we're uncovering what really separates cocoa from cacao, and whether that difference matters, right here on History of Simple Things. To understand the answer, we have to begin where all chocolate begins: the cacao tree. Known scientifically as Theobroma cacao, or food of the gods, this tropical plant produces colorful pods filled with beans. Those beans are the starting point for nearly every chocolate product we enjoy today. Whether it's called cocoa or cacao, it all comes from these very same beans. The distinction appears after the beans are harvested. They are first fermented and dried, but what happens next determines the name you'll see on the package. Beans that are roasted at higher temperatures are processed into cocoa, while beans that receive little or no roasting are commonly sold as cacao. In simple terms, cocoa is more heavily processed, while cacao stays much closer to its natural state. That single processing step changes more than you might expect. It affects the flavor, the texture, and even some of the nutrients found inside the beans. Let's start with taste. Cocoa has the familiar chocolate flavor that most of us grew up with. It's smooth, rich, and mellow, making it the perfect choice for brownies, cakes, cookies, and a warm mug of hot chocolate. Roasting softens some of the natural bitterness, giving cocoa its comforting and recognizable taste. Cacao, meanwhile, offers a much bolder experience. It has a stronger bitterness along with earthy and slightly fruity notes that are often hidden during roasting. Many people compare it to very dark chocolate because its natural flavors remain more intact. It isn't as sweet or gentle as cocoa, but it delivers a deeper taste that some chocolate lovers appreciate. Because of this difference, cacao is often used in recipes that focus on natural ingredients, such as smoothies, homemade energy bars, or raw desserts. Cocoa, on the other hand, remains the favorite for traditional baking because it blends easily and produces the chocolate flavor most people expect. Nutrition is another reason these two products are often compared. Since cacao is exposed to less heat, it keeps more of its naturally occurring antioxidants and minerals. It contains compounds called flavonoids, which have been linked to heart health and healthy blood circulation. It also provides magnesium, iron, and dietary fiber, making it popular among people looking for nutrient-rich foods. Cocoa still contains many of these nutrients, but the roasting process reduces some of them. Heat naturally breaks down part of the antioxidant content, so cocoa usually contains lower amounts than cacao. This is why you'll often see cacao promoted as a raw or superfood ingredient. Still, healthier doesn't always mean better in every situation. Cacao's stronger bitterness often encourages people to add sugar, syrups, or other sweeteners to make it more enjoyable. Once those extra ingredients are added, some of its nutritional advantage becomes less significant. Meanwhile, unsweetened cocoa powder can also fit perfectly well into a balanced diet when used in moderation. In fact, most of the chocolate treats we enjoy every day are made with cocoa rather than cacao. From chocolate cakes to cookies and hot cocoa mixes, cocoa's smoother flavor and easier handling make it the preferred choice for manufacturers and home bakers alike. The difference also becomes noticeable when cooking. Cocoa powder performs well in baking because its processing changes the way it reacts with ingredients like baking soda and baking powder. Some cocoa powders are even Dutch processed, meaning they've been treated to reduce acidity and create an even smoother taste. Cacao powder behaves differently. Because it remains less processed, it is naturally more acidic and doesn't always produce the same results in baked recipes. Instead, it's commonly sprinkled over yogurt, blended into smoothies, or used in no-bake desserts. You may also have seen cacao nibs, small pieces of crushed cacao beans that add a crunchy texture and an intense chocolate flavor without added sugar. So if you're baking a batch of brownies, cocoa is usually the better choice. If you're making a smoothie or looking for a more natural chocolate ingredient, cacao may be exactly what you want. Beyond nutrition and cooking, these two products create different experiences. Cocoa is comforting and familiar, bringing back memories of homemade desserts and cups of hot chocolate on chilly evenings. Cacao feels closer to chocolate in its original form, less refined, more intense, and full of the flavors that existed long before sugar transformed chocolate into the sweet treat we know today. So, which one should you choose? There's really no single right answer. If you're after a smooth classic chocolate flavor that's easy to bake with, cocoa is hard to beat. But if you prefer a less processed ingredient with a richer, more natural taste and slightly higher nutritional value, cacao is worth trying. In the end, both come from the same remarkable tree. They simply take different paths before reaching your kitchen. No matter which one you choose, both cocoa and cacao remind us that even the smallest differences in how something is made can completely change its flavor, purpose, and experience. And the next time you see both sitting side by side on a store shelf, you'll know they're not rivals. They're simply two versions of the same remarkable bean, each with its own story to tell. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.